Hi YouTube, I just was sitting here today watching some of the videos on the infertility journey and things that, relationships, how it's affected your relationships, things like that. And I just wanted to do my own little video and just kind of talk about how it's all affected me and things people have said, things like that. First of all, the hardest part is that I never thought it would take this long. When we first went and, talked to the doctor about, well, actually the second time when we got up the courage to do the test and stuff. And after the first few tests came back okay, I figured it would just be a couple months and then it really would happen. And then I think I had 2 IUIs and it still didn't result in a, pregnancy. I get back every time I think that you go through where everything seems right, and then you get to the end and it doesn't result in the way it's supposed to. It's very difficult. Especially, not so much when we tried on our own because we knew obviously there was a problem, but once we did go to the doctor and went through all the Clomid and the Avidril shot and, had the IUI, I had the, test to show that my cervical mucus was killing the sperm, so that's why we ended up having the IUI. After we did all that the first time, I thought for sure that, okay, well, they've, corrected all the problems. This, should not be an issue any longer. This will be the month. And then it wasn't. And that's just devastating. I just think that infertility is like a roller coaster. Each month that you are trying, you just get to a point where, you get to your high part and think, okay, this will be it, this will be the month, and then you end up not being pregnant, and it's devastating. I just feel like it's like someone dying. I feel like every single month that you don't have a positive result that you're really trying, it's like grieving for a child that you never have. And that's been very difficult for me. For my husband, he doesn't always talk about the way he feels, so it's a little more difficult to determine what really affects him and what doesn't. I think that he's, been really great throughout all this. I think that he listens to me go on and on and on sometimes, and that's, sometimes I think what I need is just to hear somebody listen to me talk about, what I'm going through. So that's been good. I think that people have good intentions, but they don't always say the right thing. I was watching another video this morning about somebody else talking about things that they've said that have really hurt them. Other people have said that has really hurt them. And we've had that as well. One of the things that irritates me the most, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, is when people tell me just to relax and it will happen. Because that makes it seem like I'm doing something wrong. And I don't like that. I think that when you have infertility problems, you put enough of the blame on yourself where, if you would just do this differently or maybe I'm not praying hard enough, you already put all that blame on yourself. You don't need other people to help you in that. And my mom actually said that one time, and I told her that. I said, you make it seem like I'm doing something wrong. When you say that, it means that I'm doing something wrong to cause this. And that's not, what people need to hear. She stopped saying that sentence. That's not what you need to hear. I don't know what the right thing is to say, because I don't think that it's like anything else. If you don't actually go through it, it's easy to think about how you would react, and it's easy to think about what you would do or say or think, but until you actually go through it, you don't know. I don't know if I've acted the way I thought I would. A lot of times what happens is we get to a certain point and I just feel I can't take it anymore. I have to stop. I can't take this anymore. It's not worth it. It's affecting me too much. And we reached that point the last time I had my IUI. We got the positive pregnancy test. And at that point, we got the positive home pregnancy test. I went for the blood work, and they said that my numbers weren't high enough for an actual pregnancy. And so it was a chemical pregnancy or whatever. And it's at that point I was done. I just needed some time. And, I feel like at this point I've had that time. So I think that as soon as my husband does get insurance, we'll, move on to the injectables and see how those go. It's difficult to say, how long we'll continue all this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is there some point where things become not an option? I mean, I don't know. But I just think that, it really is a huge strain on your life. And part of what gets to me the most is I just think about, like the other girl I watched today had said, you get married and you envision this life, and especially when you're younger, you graduate from high school and you just think that, the world is yours, you get to, and things are just going to fall into place, and they don't always work out that way. And especially with having children, that was, never a question in my mind. I know some people don't want kids, and they always know that. Well, I always knew I wanted kids. And especially with my husband, we always wanted a large family. So it makes it even more difficult that if it's this difficult to conceive our first child, will we be prepared to continue to go through this again for the second and third and fourth? And will we financially be able to do that? And will we emotionally be able to do that? That's a huge, huge issue. I don't know that I know the answer to that right now, which is part of the reason why we're considering the foster care adoption. But they really don't make that very easy either. So I don't know exactly how it's all going to plan out. And I'm a huge planner. I very much like to have things under control. I very much like to, be in control of what's going on in my life, and to have this unknown and not ever know when it's going to end or how it's going to end or if it's going to end is very difficult for me anyway. Something else that's really affected my husband and I is that we just it just seems like it's an everyday struggle to go through this, and it seems like everyone has kids. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way that I do. It just feels like every single person has kids. I mean, I just recently got onto Facebook, and everyone from high school, seeing them on there. Everyone has kids. I mean, everyone has at least one kid, it seems like, and I'm sure that that's over exaggerating a little bit, but it just seems that way. And the other thing that really bothers me is that it seems like the wrong people have kids. I hear all the time, and whenever I hear it, it makes me so mad. People abusing their kids, or they find these babies that have had, terrible things, or these people that, especially trying to go through foster care. I know I'm rambling a little bit, and I'm sorry, but especially going through foster care, I don't understand how anyone could have a child and, abuse them or neglect them or hurt them, or, I just don't get that. I don't get that. And I think maybe that's kind of the positive that we've come away with from this. And sometimes it's difficult to think that way, but so I think the positive is, after everything we've been through, I don't think we will ever take for granted our kids. I really don't. I don't think that I'll ever be one of those moms that complains about my children. Oh, they're bugging me. They're just annoying. I wish I just have a day off. I just can't see myself being that way, because we've tried so hard to get to that point. Part of the other good thing is that I feel like at this point we have really talked a lot about how we would parent. We see people doing certain things, or things, that they do, that we want to do. We have really talked a lot about that. We've had a lot of time to really focus on that, so we know, what kind of parents we want to be and what we want to do with our children. And I think sometimes maybe people that just get pregnant right away don't have all that time to prepare, and don't have all that time to just make sure that that's, that they have everything, all their ducks in a row or whatever. I think at this point we do. And I just really feel like each person has to go through this on their own. I don't think that by any means everybody does it the same exact way we do. I don't think by any means everyone has the same feelings we do. I think for each person it's different. I'm actually going to stop the video here and do a part 2. See you then. Bye.